Alright, in this video, we're gonna be talking about hooks. Why are hooks so important in our ads? Simply because without a good hook, it doesn't really matter how good the rest of the ad is. People are just not gonna stop in front of your ad. They will just keep on scrolling, and your perfect ad from second 5 on, nobody will see it. So, what are we gonna cover? First of all, bad hook equals bad results. So if you want to understand how to create a good hook, first of all, understand how important it is and how important it is to allocate the right resources. This doesn't apply to any other section of the ad. You can have the best ad from second 5 on, but if nobody stops before second 5, then nobody gets to see your incredible Hollywood level ad. Saying that the hook affects 70% of the results would not be crazy. I would probably push it a little further, but let's say 70%. Now, we need to grab people's attention and get them to stop scrolling. This is the biggest lever we have at our disposal, and it exponentially improves our results. If you're watching this video, if you bought this course, I'm pretty sure you understand how important hooks are. But I just want to reiterate it so that you are more bought into this lesson, okay? Now, what are the best practices? We're going to go through all of the best practices, such as understanding what a good hook looks like, such as simple language, clear and simple to understand. A good hook must be surprising. What does surprise mean? We're going to get into details, but to give you an idea, innovative, controversial, visually appealing, engaging. These are just some of the few options we have at our disposal in order to make our hook surprising. Then we'll be talking about the 3P triangle. By now, you know what I'm talking about. And perspectives. So is your hook about the product? Is your hook about the problem? Is your hook about the persona? And how to get inspired. Where do we look for new hook ideas? In how we store them, how we do this completely different research compared to the others. Well, we're going to go through that in this video. Then we're going to understand how to get inspired, how to find tens of proven hooks on command. Anytime you want, you can just do what I'm going to show you in this video. How to get inspired. So what are the 3 main methods we use to find new hooks? In how to find tens of proven hook ideas on command. Just start using one of these methods. You take away 10 hook ideas, you process them, you elaborate them, and you're ready to shoot. You're ready to edit your ads. This is extremely, extremely useful. Then we're going to be talking about the 7 concepts that we have at our disposal to grab people's attention. Using concepts that are proven to grab attention. You need to know the rules in order to break them. So we're going to share these rules and we're going to get to stop people in a sustainable way. Finally, we're going to share also some attention rate hacks that we use at 99 Ads. First, we have power words. Then we have artificial intelligence, brand hijacking, and authority. This is going to be an interesting video. So without further ado, let's start with what makes a good hook. So a good hook must be immediate. If it's not immediate, it's very, very unlikely that people are gonna stop. People are just not interested in waiting to process what's in front of them because they have to understand what's going on. They just keep scrolling and there's somebody else who's gonna give them more dopamine in it's going to be easy. They're not going to have to think about it. It's just going to be obvious. So first things first, you want your hook to be immediate, to be clear. In the first 1 to 2 seconds, it has to get the point across. This is the goal. If you think about the viral TikTok videos, the most viral TikTok videos, the ones with tens of millions of views, most of them are super low quality, but in a split second, they get you to wonder, what's happening next? What's going to happen here? I need to see, I need to watch, I'm curious, I want to see what happens. In As an exercise, I would highly recommend you watch the most viral videos of the YouTube history, the TikTok history. I want you to see how immediate they are. I've gone through the list recently, and it's so funny because you see the quality is really bad. It's really low, but you can tell that the story is strong. You can tell that there's a very strong message, a very strong storyline, getting back to our storylines, that gets people reeled in, and they really want to know what happens next. I find myself doing that, and I know exactly what they're doing with their hooks. So this is extremely important, and I would highly recommend you do that exercise. Now, they have to be simple to understand. A third grader should be able to understand the language. Simplifying the language is a great test to run. The same hook with a different language leads to different results. This is as funny as it sounds. We have run so many tests. It's insane. In lowering the complexity of the text is always the easiest test to run, and it always brings the low-hanging fruits. It doesn't really matter what type of industry we are promoting in, but if the language is simpler, more people are going to understand. And as a non-native speaker, this is something that surprised me, because I thought all native speakers would understand everything, but that's not the case. Most of the time we tend to over-evaluate people's dictionary, but most people just don't use most of the words that you would use as a copywriter. So for that reason, just make your hooks simpler and make it simple to understand. No language in some of the best hooks, so you can make it as simple as you want. But if there's nobody speaking, the viral potential is much higher, obviously. This mainly applies for organic. A strong hook that everybody can understand can spread worldwide. And I would highly recommend you use apps to rate your language grade. Hemingway is the most popular, and I think we still use it internally. There are quite a few, but Hemingway is one of the best ones. And ChatGPT is a solid alternative. You can ask ChatGPT to proofread whatever text you provide them with, but also you can ask it to rate it. So can a third grader, a fifth grader understand this hook, this text? Let me know. Then it has to be surprising. A solid hook gets people to raise their eyebrow and cause some sort of a reaction, either positive or negative. In organic hooks, people get to stop and watch the entire video. So most of these hooks, they tap into specific emotions, specific feelings, such as happiness, joy, sadness, fear, nostalgia, inspiration, empathy, compassion, surprise, shock, and many more. With paid hooks, you want to get people to stop and purchase. So, organic hook, you want them to stop and watch the entire video. On paid hooks, you want people to stop and purchase. So if you were to tap into the same emotions, it would be very hard for you to get them to stop and buy. You would get them to stop and watch, but stop and buy, that would be hard. You would have to use different angles and tap into different angles, such as convenience, life improvements, solve a problem, storytelling and testimonials, authority. Imagine a doctor explaining why you should buy a specific product, efficiency and results. Paid hooks stop less people than organic, but they get them to buy. When paid gets an opportunity to tap into organic emotions in a relevant way, you get a grand slam ad. Now, there is a video that I would love you to watch. This is extremely interesting. I'm not gonna play it here, but you will find the video here. Basically, what happened here is that when Gillette published the ad, "What is a Man?", this brand rode the wave of Gillette and all of the media attention it was getting. Gillette was getting media attention in a negative way, and this brand, it's a watch brand, it's an e-commerce store, Agard Watches, did an amazing thing. And every time you're able to tap into organic opportunities with a paid ad, that's where you get a lot of people in exponential results that are completely different. This is not exactly a hook. This is an entire ad, but it really helps getting the point across. So I would highly recommend you watch this ad. And if you haven't watched the actual Gillette ad, I would recommend watching that as well. Now, the fourth feature a great hook should have is that it has to be clear. Apart from the language, people need to understand what is going on if you want them to stop. So avoid too many objects and elements, avoid difficult structures, things that are hard to understand, as we said before. Avoid things and elements that are not familiar, and avoid things that are too abstract. You want things to be clear. You want 9 people out of 10 to understand what's going on. Ideally 99 out of 100. Then it has to be relatable. Recurring element, not only on hooks, more to come. This is something that I'm going to share with you in the second part of this video. If the prospect can see themselves or their recurring situation in the hook, they will be very, very likely to stop. You want them to think like, this brand understands my problem to the T. Now, what are some of the common pitfalls? Well, thinking anybody cares about your brand is a very common pitfall. People expect prospects to be interested in whatever they show. You have a lot of brands that start their ads with their logo. Who's interested in that? Or they start ads with drone shots from above and like a high view of their store, of their manufacturing facility. Nobody cares. Why would I stop if whatever's next is much more appealing, much more interesting? So humble yourself, I would say, in a sense that if you are the owner of the brand, it's very unlikely that 9 people out of 10 know your brand. It's very unlikely that 99 people out of 100 know your brand. And if you're part of the creative department, same thing. Just make sure you understand what actually grabs people's attention. Then being strict on brand guidelines and limiting testing options. This is a very common pitfall, especially with hooks. You kind of want to get funky sometimes. You kind of want to test more things just to see what works. And then maybe once you find what works, you make it more close to the brand guidelines. But you really want to make sure you find what works. You really, really, really need to experiment. Then you have people who use B-roll intros to create atmosphere. Don't do that. It's very unlikely that works. And then you have underestimating the impact of big brands when taking inspiration. We talked about this in one of the previous videos. I think the one about the overarching principles. But if Gucci or Nike starts an ad with a weird B-roll to create atmosphere, that's Nike, that's Gucci. You don't want to do that. We are playing a different game, and we can be much better than what they are doing. obviously. If they want, they could be great at direct response, but they are playing a different game. So just make sure you take the right brands as a source of inspiration. Now, building a winning hook. How do we do that? First things first, let's pick the character, the main character of our hook. We do that using the 3P triangle. We have at our disposal 3 main characters. First, the product. Is your hook about the product? Second, the problem. Is your hook about the problem? Or third, the persona. Is your hook about the persona you're targeting? This is something that really helped us skyrocket the results we were getting and also become more artistic in a way. If you think of all of the perspectives and the POVs you can explore when you start thinking in terms of the main character of your hooks, the same hook can be translated at least in 3 different perspectives, which makes it very interesting. You get interesting hooks by changing the POV of the hook, as I just said, and GoPros are great for this. They are absolutely amazing, extremely underrated when it comes to ads. We use GoPros pretty much in all of our shootings. Then you gotta pick your concept. At 99 Ads, we use 7 concepts for 90% of the hooks we create. Now, picking one of the proven concepts to get people to stop scrolling, 90% of the best performing hooks fall into one of these concepts. The first one is old way versus new way. Show the new way, I compare it directly to the old way. The goal here is in bullying the old way, make it sound almost nasty, make it sound unbearable. And the new way in your hook, in your ad, must sound like the only way to solve the problem you're talking about. There's nothing else available in the market if you really want to solve that problem, or if you don't mind spending a little more. The new way has to be the way, and the old way just has to be bullied. Second concept is demonstration. You want to grab your prospect's attention in a visual way. One of the most utilized angles you can find out there, demonstration, as easy as that. You can go the show-off route. You can also go crazy with bizarre shots, close-ups, and satisfying scenes. Or you can also show the product in use, ideally focusing on something that prospects have never seen before. This works extremely well with markets that are not very sophisticated yet, but you can use it for many markets. To be fair, this is one of the most utilized out of all of the 7. Then we have transformation, showing the caterpillar that becomes a butterfly thanks to our solution. Before and after pictures and videos fall into this concept, so you can understand how impactful they are. Works well with products that require a longer time horizon to show actual results. Think of supplements, think of education, for example. In focusing on the persona works like a charm. So when you're picking your like your main character in the 3P triangle, I would recommend testing the persona for the transformation concept. Then we have the storytelling. Storytelling, we start open loops through stories, allows you to fly under the radar of your prospects. This is absolutely amazing when paired with the right problem and you drill on the pain as hard as you can. We talked about bullying the old way. Here we're doing something similar with those who are still fighting against the problem that we solve, against the pain that we solve. Then we have the social proof concept. Using this concept to build social proof for the product you're selling. Most online advertisers do not understand how to use social proof. It's not about creating fake urgency, which is something that you see pretty much everywhere. Especially for the new platforms, people tend not to understand it. Back in the days with the old school advertising, old school copywriting, people used to leverage social proof the right way. To give you an idea, think of industry veterans, doctors, biking stock alerts, hundreds of thousands of happy customers, university research, leaked chat screenshots between prospects and recurring clients. This is extremely interesting. Just be creative. This is a great place to be creative. You want to leverage all of the creative power you have left from adopting formulas here. This is a great way. If you know what you're doing, if you know what is the concept, and you can come up with new ways to build social proof, that's perfect. Then we have provocative questions. Getting people to stop and think about a problem that they are currently going through and a solution. The solution they're currently adopting or the solution they don't know about, for example. Make prospects aware of a problem they might have but are ignoring for whatever reason. Or make prospects rethink if what they're currently doing is the actual best solution to solve their problem, or make them understand at a deeper level what makes the solution you are offering stand out. Provocative questions are absolutely great. This is another underrated concept. And then finally, we have platform trends. This concept consists of writing the latest social media trend. It's crucial to understand that whatever trend you want to write, it has to be relevant to what you sell. You don't have to ride all the waves. That's amateurish. You don't want to ride all the trends, and that's going to impact your brand for the long term. I just do not recommend doing that. And you want to preserve the long-term vision of the brand. So understand what are the trends that actually make sense to ride. And when you do that, make sure, first of all, they're relevant to your brand. But second of all, you're not just copying as a monkey. You're elaborating that trend and making it yours. There are some great examples you will find in the resource section. Now, scripting a winning hook. Not only scripts. Visuals play an incredibly important role in hooks. Most of the winning hooks that we created are mainly visual. So take it with a pinch of salt. It's all about the headline. The headline is everything we have at our disposal when it comes to copy. At the end of the day, we only have 2 to 5 seconds when it comes to hooks. To be honest, right now, especially with the TikTok generation, I would say 0 to 2. But depending on the industry, depending on the target, 2 to 5 is still good. Now, grabbing the attention of the right audience within that limited frame is not an easy task. So something you might want to do is understand what other people are doing and leverage their proven hooks for your brand. How we do that? First, the first method is TikTok organic. So you head over to tiktok.com, explore, and you type your keyword, the keyword you're looking for, the product, the type of product you want to promote. So toothbrush, in this case, this was the easiest I thought about. And as you can see, there are many organic posts that are making millions and millions and millions of views. So you can think of many interesting ideas. For example, here, husband versus wife toothbrush. This is a very good hook. You can think of how many people can relate to this hook, and it's pretty insane. Now, a few things you want to keep into account. This is an amazing way to find strong headlines, and husband versus wife toothbrush, this is great. When I'm brushing my teeth aggressively, then I remember 4 things I regret buying. I just created the cutest, well, this is an ad. What does your toothbrush say about you? This is very cool. All these angles are very interesting. Now, one thing I really want you to understand is that when you do organic, TikTok organic, you need to screen the content based on the amount of followers. What do I mean? You don't have to take inspiration from something that went viral because of the author and not because of the content. Make sure it is, or it can be relevant to your audience. So if, for example, here, Hailey Bieber, this lady is very popular, and obviously whatever angle, whatever idea she gives us, the results are not relevant because we will not have her talking to our camera. Most likely we're going to have another person that is not as popular. So in this case, I would just skip this ad. Let's go back to this one. I'm curious to see what is the average amount of views that this page gets. So 32,000 followers. Well, this is a very clear winner. As you can see, the average is relatively low. It's not too high, but then they have these crazy ads that go these crazy posts that go extremely viral. But this is definitely the strongest of the entire page. So I would definitely take this hook, this headline into account, and I would save it. I would save the entire ad. I'll tell you in a second how to do the second part of the research. But we can keep on doing 4 things I regret buying. 500,000 views. That's pretty good. And I'm curious to see. Well, as you can see, she's more popular than the previous one. Although 500,000 views, it's still a lot. You want to make sure. It's kind of hard to make sure. But and you can keep doing this all day long, and you're gonna come up with some amazing ideas. Now, the next way to do this research is with TikTok top ads. So we do the same thing we just did, but we do it on the top ads page. Now, what you want to do is, again, add your toothbrush keyword, top ads dashboard. This is where you want to go. Inspiration, top ads dashboard. Make sure you are located, or you're actually filtering out based on the country you want to advertise in. And I like ranking ads based on 2-second view rate and 6-second view rate. You don't have to do it, but I would recommend doing so. So let's say we go for the 2-second view rate. Here you have another list of headlines you can look at. This was gross, but you have a bunch of ideas that you can find here. Once again, I would highly recommend you look at the actual numbers. Keep in mind that all the reach, all the part of the metrics at least will be affected by the amount of money that has been spent on these ads. So keep it with a pinch of salt, but you can still look at the headlines and take the ones that you like the most. Now, one more thing you can do here is keeping an eye on the top CTR ads. Usually try to stay below 10%. You can probably push it to 20%, but ads like this, you can tell they're solid. And as time goes by, you will be able to recognize very good ideas at the first glance. You can also pick your industry. As I said, would recommend taking inspiration from other industries as well. We mentioned this in another lesson as well. Now, foreplay, third method. We like using foreplay as well. Discovery, you type your keyword here, and then you head over to filters. If you're looking for videos, I would recommend filtering for videos, obviously. And here you have some of the ads. Again, the good thing about foreplay is that you can see for how long these ads have run. And you can, based on that, assume which ones were winners and which ones were not winners. If something has been running for 106 days, then it's most likely a winner. Looking at the most saved brands and the ads that have been running for the longest time, and creating your own swipe board and going back there anytime you need ideas. Now, taking advantage of these ads, the way I do it is pretty simple, and this is what I would recommend you do. My recommendation is to download the scripts of all the ads you like, of all the videos you like, and work on the scripts directly rather than on the videos. When you want to take visual ideas, you take visual ideas. In this case, we are working on the script. This module is all about scripting. So make sure you isolate the variable of the words, of the text. Visuals play a massive role when it comes to the hooks. You don't want to get influenced when you are going through your new scripts, and you don't want to get stuck on other brands' visuals that maybe you don't have at your disposal. You will find our swipe file in the resources, and feel free to use it anytime you need some ideas for your hooks. Now, attention rate hacks. This is very interesting, and I'm guessing it's going to be the most practical thing you're going to take away from this lesson. Now, power words. They can turn a mediocre hook into a strong hook. The way we do it is we use ChatGPT, as easy as that. This is the prompt we use. Let's go for it right away. So I'm creating an ad for, let's say, Instagram ads. The product is a toothbrush. Our target audience is people, young people between 18 and 24. We want to grab the audience attention within the first 5 seconds and get them hooked. Please provide a list of power words that align with our industry, product, and advertising goals, which we can use to make our ad compelling and attention grabbing. Let's see what it tells us. Innovative, eco-friendly, brighter, revolutionary, smart, effortless, glowing, essential, instant, premium, sustainable, exclusive, advanced, confidence, invigorating, sleek, transformative, vibrant, gentle, ultimate. These are power words that you can use and you can add to your hooks and to your copywriting and text in general. And these tend to be very, very useful when it comes to creating your hooks. Then you have brand hijacking. This is another thing that we use at 99 Ads. You can use big brands as part of your hooks to leverage the attention they gather. To give you an idea, this is the Rolls-Royce of microphones, or this is the Gucci of microphones. Make it relevant and avoid banal comparisons. The more relatable the two brands are, or the closer they are in terms of demographics, target demographics, the better. Then you also have authority, and you can leverage authority when it comes to your hooks. Same words read by a random person and then read by a doctor get completely different results if we're talking about some health advice, health products, or stuff like that. So keep into account the authority. That's, again, same text read by another person gets completely different results. We saw the Hailey Bieber. In this case, she's a very popular person, but that's the authority effect. You can get that effect with fame, with popularity, or you can get that effect with authority. If I see somebody with a scrub, by default, I give them some authority. If I see somebody wearing a police uniform, I will give them some authority. And same works online when we see ads. take advantage of other people's authority. And finally, ChatGPT. Prompts in the resources section. Just go check them out. Use it not only to find power words, but also to find actual hook ideas. But you will learn more about it in the specific video. Important, don't aim at finding the final version of your hooks, but look for ideas and then work on them based on what brought you results. This is when you use ChatGPT to give you ideas on your hooks. Conclusions. Hooks are the most important part of our ads. Full stop. And we want to get a good understanding of how to structure them and how to script them. This lesson gives you everything you need to build high-performing hooks, and please make sure to look at the resources section and integrate everything you learned here with the swipe files, prompts, etc. Time to step up your hooks. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you in the next video.